So here we go, 40 laps to decide the champion, and we have action off the front straight away. Vosberg at the inside, Blight the outside, and Moose, the American, trying to go between the middle of the two Australians as they head around turn number 2 down the back straight. Blake, Chalmers, Oldfield, they're just back in behind, vying for positions here in the main straight though. Blight's got the better of the first lap, Moose on the outside of Vosberg. It looks like he might be able to get himself into second place, side by side, out of turn number 2, but moves to second, Blight in front, Moose second, Vosberg in third. Then we go back to the veteran Blake, who's won this title 5 times.
So 16.7 the second time around. They are going pretty quickly out in front. Kai Blight leads.
Kai Blight just putting in the fastest lap of the race by about 0.2 of a second, but here comes Miles Moose, who's putting on the move on the inside at Schlam, turn number 3, but isn't able to stick with Kai Blight this time around. Meanwhile, there goes Brad Smith on an excursion into the black track. So he's having a rotten night tonight, the Tasmanian. Hopefully that will turn for him very, very soon. Down the Triple M back straight, gap between second and third is 3.5 seconds. That is Moose back to Blight, back to Vosbergen, I should say, while Blight still leads by 0.6.
Well, are we going to go start to finish? That's the big question. 40 laps is where we are headed to. We're on lap number 7 right now. My 2 co-commentators are looking at each other with very wide eyes all of a sudden. But I tell you what, we've seen this before, and we've already got cars that are now starting to cut their sway through the lap traffic. Here's Moose. Oh, Moose just smacked into the wall. You saw the sparks fly. He ducks to the inside of a slower car. They come into the main straight. We're on lap number 8 as they go through the start-finish line. We're going well at the moment.
We are at the moment. They're a long way clear of Brent Vosbergen in third, then back to Brad Blake and Joe Chalmers. Our leaders are almost side by side in heavy lap traffic. They're up behind Rod Massara and also Brendan Hucker as they move down in the TD Granny Flats and Modular Homes turn. Kai Blight has put 2 lap cars between himself and Miles Moose. There's nearly the whole field in the back straight. Moose gets through underneath of Massara as now Blight hits the fence, loses some momentum, and here comes Moose yet again.
Gap has been cut in half. It was 0.7, it's now 0.35. So Kai Blight with a little mistake coming out of Mobil 1, turn number 4, but just gets a little bit more momentum out of turn 2. Amazing how well these two are able to get their way through lap traffic as Kai Blight still holds the lead, but it's only a couple of car lengths. Now gets himself between, although contact between McCann and then Moose has gone around.
Oh no!
Miles Moose has gone around making contact with Veronica McCann.
He was going out on the high, wide, handsome route here. You saw Veronica there run into, and you know, Moose had nowhere to go. Veronica came down the racetrack after having a little bit of a bumping duel with Kai Blight.
So Kai Blight's gone underneath McCann and then gone close to the wall. McCann has not much to do. And moves Vosbergen off the front. We restart the Mobil 1 Australian Late Model Championship. 10 laps in of this 40-lapper as Miles Moose once again gets close to Kai Blight. Here comes the O-Show on the outside. Manages to get his way past Joe Chalmers, at least momentarily, down the Triple M back straight. While Kai Blight holds a lead, about 2 car lengths. Back to Vosbergen, back to Chalmers and Blake, who are side by side down the Opal Finance front straight. And look out for Jamie Oldfield as well. There's the 1, there's the 0. It is Chalmers and Blake at the moment battling for 3rd, 4th and 5th because they've also climbed up to Brent Vosbergen, sorry.
So we just saw a car whack into the fence. Then we go back to Blake, Warren Oldfield, Jamie Oldfield together. Then the Australian champion, who's currently the champion, Joe Chalmers. But right now he's got some work to do. 14 laps down.
Yes, he has. Those two have cleared away. The big mover is definitely Ben Nicastri.
Very, very good car as he edges that a little bit closer here in the main straight. He's almost pushing the West Australian along. He makes his move on turn number 1, doesn't get through, ran into slower traffic. Blight gets back over the top, but he's out of sighter now, and he knows that the American has got his eye on the prize as we've got 20 laps down.
Halfway home, and Kai Blight has opened up probably the biggest margin he's had in the recent times. He comes up on the outside of lap traffic. There's 2 lap cars between himself and Miles Moose, who gets underneath the J card. He hasn't passed him yet. There is a wall of cars in front of them, and we've got a retiree, Joe Gotts, is the the second car out along with Brad Smith. They're bouncing off the wall is Kai Blight. Here comes Miles Moose again. There's 3 lap cars between he and the race leader, Kai Blight. Moose up against the fence now. 22 down and 18 to go.
He's doing an amazing job getting through this lap traffic at the moment, is Kai Blight. He's got a few more to get through. Geez, he's getting very close to the back of some of these. Up to the 22 of Callum Harper he goes, and now next one that he's going to come up against is the 54, the Queenslander. So, Miles Moose, the gap is 1.7 seconds to try and catch Kai Blight, who's out in front. He's got about 4 lap cars between him, and now it is a lengthening lead here for Kai Blight. Jamie Oldfield, by the way, up into 3rd spot. He's now onto the podium from Brent Vosbergen, then Warren Oldfield, Cody Brown, and Ben Nicastri into 7th.
So Nicastri has been unbelievable in the New South Wales 99 from where he has come from, the hard charger. There is no doubt about that. But speaking of doubt, is the West Australian now making the statement? We're speaking about Kai Blight because he has been able to stretch his margin out to 2.66 seconds now if he can just keep maintaining the speed, because it looks like that he has the better now of the American.
Joe Chalmers, half a dozen to go, and Kai Blight is thrashing them.
It is a large lead. Large. Miles Moose. Oh, thank you. We have one into the fence at turn number 1. So that is the 23 of Brendan Hucker. Well, not something Kai Blight wanted to see, a stoppage.
Can he hang on, or will there be a twist in the tail? Into the main straight we come, and the Australian champion, as close as he's been to being the front of this field. He's up there in 4th place as he goes around Cody Brown. Our race leader is Kai Blight, Miles Moose, and here comes Joe Chalmers looking for a way through on Jamie Oldfield. We've got half a dozen to go.
Surely he's not going to steal it. Surely not, the A1. He's in 4th at the moment. He's just losing a little bit of touch right now with Jamie Oldfield in 3rd, trying to charge his way through while the O's show, and also Brent Vosbergen further back trying to make their way through the field. 5 remain for our race leader. Kai Blight just put the fastest lap of the race in with a 16.1. He means business. Kai Blight on a tear once again.
1 lap to go. Miles Moose in 2nd. Jamie Oldfield holding off Joe Chalmers for 3rd. Down into turn number 1 he goes. He moves out of turn number 2, goes around Callum Harper, moves down the back straight. Come on, Perth, up on your feet. Kai Blight is about to become a 2-time Australian late model champion. Kai Blight first across the line, 2nd goes to Miles Moose. Jamie Oldfield is 3rd, back then to Joe Chalmers. Cody Brown is 5th. Here in the main straight, make plenty of noise. Kai Blight wins again. He won in 2020 here at the Motorplex. Getting out of the car, he's getting up on the roof. Oh, no, he's not, he's getting up on the fence. We haven't seen this before. Kai Blight becomes Spider-Man here at the Motorplex.
Time now for your podium presentations here. What a race, what a weekend for the Mobil 1 Australian Late Model Championship here in
as soon as I crossed the line, I couldn't stop crying, man. I was like a little baby. The floodgates open. It's just, it means so much for me to give back to everyone that put me in their position to drive this car, man. We came to the races to have fun as a family and friends group, and I hope that every single one of those people had fun, because I sure as hell bloody did.
It's been a massive effort for you and the team and everyone involved in your program to get this car up off the ground, to rebuild after coming back from the States, to put it together. You ran 1 warm-up race at Ellenbrook and you ran out of fuel. And I want to put a pin in that, because you stopped here at the stoppage. You were thinking about fuel, weren't you?
100%, man. Those guys drummed it into me all week. Don't be a dummy. Save as much as you can. And if I ran out of fuel, they wouldn't let me live it down for the rest of my lifetime. So we were saving as much as I could under cautions, but I'm telling you, as soon as that green light came on, there was no saving, mate. I think the firewall's bent from the throttle, because she was all the way through the floor, mate. I was wheel spinning it, and there's no saving tyres. There was none of that junk. We just drove the absolute shit out of it for 40 laps.